Hey, Drew here with a video on the Ruger PC Carbine chassis model in 9mm. As you can see, there's been a few changes to it and plenty of additions. Nothing internal, but we'll be going over that in just a bit. But to start things off, this is Canada compliant, so we've got a longer 18.6 inch threaded and fluted barrel. I've also got the Glock magwell swapped in, no longer the Ruger Security 9 magwell shipped in with, and our max capacity here is 10 rounds. It's a straight blowback with nothing but its weight, spring, and friction to mitigate recoil, and has a unique takedown feature that I personally never use. Recoil is pretty snappy, surprised me on my first trip to the range with it. Used to it now, but when I take friends to shoot it for the first time, the recoil catches them off guard like it did me, no matter how much warning I give them. Now the weight straight out of the box is 7.3 pounds, but with all these attachments on mine, it comes in at around 9.4 pounds. Pretty heavy for a 9mm carbine, but hey, it dampens recoil. Mark the tightening knob that locks the barrel to the receiver with some white paint, so if for any reason it loosens, the indicators will misalign and I'll know it's no longer fully tightened. I got the knob tightened to its maximum when I first bought it and never had any issues since. Although I will say that when I've got the handguard on arrest while shooting, the point of impact does shift like half an inch up at 20 meters. You can also swap the charging handle to the left or leave it on the right AK style. There's a last round bolt hold open, but you can force it open ahead of time with the button below. I'm not picky on triggers myself, but this one feels great to me. It's got a 1/2x28 threaded barrel. Might put a muzzle brake on there someday myself. I believe other compliant versions of it won't have any threading on the barrel. This model in the PC charger does not come with irons like its preceding versions, so set some budget aside for your preferred optic. Picked it up for 1200 Canadian before tax or 880 USD, so make of that what you will. I've had this for about 2.5 years now, and so far it has been 100% reliable. A couple thousand rounds in, I have not been able to get it to choke up on me, though I never did a torture test or burn down on it. I've heard about the tandem cross and McCarbo, if I'm even saying that right, quality of life upgrades you can make, internal and external. Never felt the need to buy those upgrades personally. I'm sure they're great. I'm just not a competition shooter or anything, so for me, it's fine as is for now. For ammo, I've used Blazer aluminums, which you're apparently not supposed to do. I've also used Federal, but nowadays stick to Cellular and Bellet 115 grain. It's accurate, clean, and reliable just like the rest. Magazines I use are Glock 19 OEM and SGM magazines. Also 3D printed some tall sleeves for them. So starting up top, I've got a Holosun 403R red dot paired with a Holosun HM3X magnifier. This isn't a red dot review, but just wanted to say this is a great optic. Never lost its 20-meter zero and clear enough for someone with astigmatism. I got the red dot mounted on as far forward on the receiver as I could get. You want to shoot with both eyes open on red dots, so it's best you see less of the frame because you only care about seeing the dot. The magnifier sits all the way at the back because the eye relief for it is around 2 3/4 inches, so this is a perfect spot for me. If you use the takedown feature often, you might want to mount the red dot on the Picatinny rail on the rear of the handguard if you find you lose your zero when breaking it apart and putting it back together. Up on the handguard, we've got a Crimson Trace 202 mounted light. Don't have much to say, I kinda just bought it. Chose it over the Streamlight HLX cause it already comes with M-LOK mounts, while Streamlight just had a Picatinny mount. The pressure pad comes with the sticky side and straps, only using the straps side for now until I have a final spot for the pad. For the grip, I've got the Magpul M-LOK angled foregrip. I like using a kind of a C-clamp while shooting, and this takes some tension off the wrists. For the stock and pistol grip, I've swapped the factory ones for the Magpul SL stock and Magpul K2 grip respectively. The SL is a mil-spec version and has zero wobble unlike the original Carbine stock. The K2 grip has a more aggressive texture and a steeper angle than the original grip, which I like. Lastly, for accessories, I've got a Magpul GI sling mount with a Blackhawk universal sling through it and the buttstock. Overall, very comfy to handle for me. I'm a super average guy, 5'9", normal wingspan, medium-sized gloves, fat-ass cock. From when I first handled the Ruger at my LGS till now, it's only gotten more comfortable to handle with time, especially with these Magpul accessories. Even without them, it'd still be great. but these are just upgrades I wanted to make after a couple years with it. Ergonomics are pretty intuitive, charging handle and magazine release are easy to reach, quick to aim, target acquisition at the range is no problem. I've got no other carbine to compare this to, but coming from zero, I have no complaints. It's pretty perfect for what it is, an economic class 9mm carbine meant for easy handling. Only thing I'd wish for is a bolt release, but it's not really a deal breaker. I also don't really clean it, just some ballistol down the barrel, bolt, and receiver every few hundred rounds. Took it apart the first day I bought it to get the factory oil off and applied some, again, ballistol, and this time, Hoppy's gun oil along the internals. Really a tell for its reliability. So that's all I have to say about the Ruger PC Carbine. Always keep in mind this is one model of many, and our experiences may of course vary. Hope it's helped you at least form a first impression on it. Definitely comment your experiences if you have any and thoughts on the PCC. Like or dislike and subscribe, whatever you like, and I'll see you when I do.